Hello there, we are back again with Hiveswap Friendsim. This episode, we have Volume 4 of Right and Wronged with Gore, aka Robbie Rotten, and, I don't know how to say his name, really. Some people might say Vicaire, but I want to say Vicare, because that's just how I want to roll with this. Fresh from your most recent bout of gratuitous bodily injury and touching scenes of camaraderie, you soldier on. You've had a few setbacks, made a couple silly choices. Boy, do things just keep happening. But let nobody say that you, the main character, are incapable of growth and change. You have made sure not to be caught in the wilderness near dawn again. You have made your way back to civilization. You can't wait to discover what new adventures await you. Adventures like friendship. I heard rumor that these are very good. So, I'm going to start with Tagora Gorjek. You wander down a street in a not too demolished looking part of town, but you don't really take much of it in. You're not looking where you're going. This is an elementary mistake, especially on the planet where everything that exists seems to be on a spectrum of engineered specifically for murder to could be a weapon in a pinch, but you've got a lot on your mind. Oh, crashed into somebody. And now is the car. These guys probably have some ridiculous word for it, but you haven't learned it. You hadn't noticed slams into you, sending you flipping head over feet. You add a few new concerns to your list. Your bones and organs. The sound of the driver yelling, "Watch where you going, lump-squirt chugger," fades as they drive away. And you assess your situation. What the fuck is a lump-squirt chugger? You stretch each limb in turn, which, you've got to say, doesn't feel great. You've landed in the bush, which is covered in sharp spines. Your arms and legs all still work, though, and when you do an experimental cough, no blood comes out. Pretty lucky, you think? You may have redefined what luck means by this point in your journey, but you'll take what you can get. You don't figure that luck will extend to this driver turning around to help you out of this bush. Your gaze is meeting and sparking an immediate and intense connection that leads to a beautiful lifelong friendship, but you let yourself hope. After a few minutes of struggle, the answer to your comradely daydreams comes into focus above you, a figure outlined by the spiny leaves of your plant prison and the glow of the moons. The troll you see isn't the driver of the car, but you don't care. Your heart is beating wildly with your continued lucky streak. I don't know what voice I want to give him. Oh, jeez. I had, like, a thought in my head. Also, I don't know what's wrong. My voice is... I think it's kind of scratchy right now. I don't know. I'm sleepy. Hello. You seem to have fallen victim to a collide and scamper with that scuttlebuggy back there. Oh. Oh no, he's charging me. Have you contacted your personal legislator? If not, I'd like to offer my services. My name is Tagora Gorjek, but please call me Gorgor. I'm here for you. For a nominal fee, of course. He pulls a business card from his sleek teal vest and offers it to you with a precise flick of a wrist. His claw beds are perfect. You try again to sit up, buoyed by this offer for assistance. He's some kind of doctor, maybe? Or a lawyer? Doesn't matter, really, because he said he was here for you. Those words go right ahead and burn themselves onto the softest chamber of your heart. You start telling him your plight thus far, reaching up through the brambles toward this beacon of hope. This guy seems trustworthy, and that's not just your lack of options talking, you swear. As you shift, the moonlight shines on you. He steps back briefly, dropping the card. One eye that's not covered by a swoop of product-infused hair opens wide. He recovers, smoothing his hands down his chest and straightening up, clearing his throat as you continue to explain. You're... what? Oh, yes, an alien. I knew that. I've done work with aliens before, so your situation shouldn't be an issue at all. Everyone deserves an equal opportunity to be represented by me. In fact, we may be able to use this in our favor for a larger cash settlement. It all depends on our angle. Here, try moving your chug column. You aren't sure why this is necessary, but you wiggle your torso, hoping that's right. You've never wanted anything more in your meager existence than to follow this specific directive perfectly. No, not that. You had a little hip jiggle, not so much that you might think it's a come on, but enough to say, hey, I'm friendly and I know what the fuck I'm doing. No, you're the thing that holds up your think pan. Work with me. You continue what you hope is part of the troll friendship ritual, shimmying various parts of your anatomy deeper into the bush, until you get to your neck, and he clasps his hand together. There we go. That one hurt, didn't it? Definitely a case of column snap, which can get us a decently hefty restitution. Your neck feels fine, or it doesn't hurt any more than the rest of you. But you give him what you hope. Sorry, I burped. But you give him what you hope is a convincingly painful nod of agreement. Of course, you will need to front the initial legislation costs. We may also have to injure you further to ensure our case is convincing, but you've got to break a few cluck beast embryos to make a grublet, as you well know. Yes, I think we make a mutually beneficial team, if you're willing to do what it takes to bring about the justice you deserve. So, what do you say? How would you like to help me help you? He's talking really fast. I guess I wasn't talking that fast, but whatever. And you're not sure exactly what to think about your lack of funds or the idea of breaking any more bones, but that smile is sharp and shiny and pointed right at you. You want more of it. I'm gonna ask him if he does pro bono work. You thank him profusely for his offer to help and explain that while your situation hasn't exactly left you very rich, you'll pay him back in glorious friendship, the most infinite of resources. You lay it on thick. He seems like a guy who can appreciate a good deal when he sees one, and you can't imagine a better deal than this. You reach both arms up, waiting for him to scoop you up out of this pain plant like the gentle baby you are. Sorry, I don't do charity. Such a shame, too. I was hoping working with an alien might make for a more interesting day than usual. Oh, no! He turns on his heel and walks away, his high ponytail swishing behind him. Damn. You can't buy friendship. But I could have sold it to you. I don't know. I'm poor aching butt. Alright. Now that we got that out of the way. Oh, my friend just texted me saying that there are so many endings, so this might be a longer episode than usual. Skippy, skippy, skippy. Stop talking. Don't skippy that much. Oh, wait. Oh, I skipped that dialogue. Whatever. That's what we call good business. Now, get up out of that pickle front and let's get you presentable. He watches you flail a few times before he sighs, unbuttons his sleeves, and rolls them up to his elbows. Each fold is crisp and even. It takes a while, but you are good at being patient. There is a 12% cost increase for instances of manual labor. It'll all be explained in your bill. It's itemized. I'm sure an alien of means such as yourself will be able to handle it. You take his hand and he pulls you up and out of the bush. It's kind of a rough job. He's not as strong as he looks, you guess. He glares at you like he's daring you to say shit about it, and you are a quick learner. He cuts you off mid-thank you. My office isn't far from here. We can go there to get things started. And by things, I absolutely mean get you clean and sign a lot of vaguely worded yet stringently blinding documents. He walks with a purpose. You shake off the flora stuck in your various body parts and do your best to catch up. From outside, his office basically just seems like his hive. You've learned a thing or two during this shitstorm of a cultural exchange, though. You've got to play it cool when a potential friend invites you home. You never know what cages or monsters or methods of evisceration they might have laying around, and you want to prepare a nice chill look on your face for whatever carnage you're about to be confronted by. It doesn't work. Your face falls to bewildered hell when you walk inside, because it's all chrome and glass and broad white walls in there. It's like he bought the fanciest looking crate and barrel display room he could find, down to the last useless minimalist accessory, and then never sat down in it. His Lucis, a ferret, is chilling on an enormous silver thing that's halfway between a throne and a play tower. Everything is clean and bright, and at perfect right angles, and you don't see any weapons anywhere. It's fucking creepy. You ask him if he just moved in, because polite conversation seems like the best thing you can do. In the absence of something specific to focus your fear on, you're just sort of a little afraid of everything. You're not paying me to learn my life story. Unless you'd like to. In that case, no, I've lived here most of my life. I'll go ahead and add that to your bill. Oof, that was expensive. You stare at one of the chairs. Should you sit in it? By all means, do not make yourself at home. Head straight to my ablution trap while I prepare our contract. You really want to connect with this guy, and you like how you just vibed there. Or you were thinking about sitting in your bedraggled ass in his fancy chair, and he could totally tell you were thinking about it, but you don't want to be friends badly enough to walk straight into something that has the word trap right there in its name without at least pondering it for a second. You've become savvier during all this. No entrapment, please. You tell him you would rather stay away from any and all traps, if that's all right. You mention that you think that's the better move for both of you. Something tells you that this guy wants to know what's in it for him. Probably all the times he said explicitly that. You do have that vibe going, after all. He taps a claw on his chin and looks you up and down. He takes his time. You try not to blush, no matter how exacting his gaze is. You present a solid case. Your whole look is more than a bit repellent, but it may make the pitiable lost alien angle more emotionally effective if you still look like you just got run over. Hello, other eye. Frown. It takes you a second to realize he didn't just say his physical emotive response instead of just doing it with his face. He's giving you a direction. You stick your lower lip out and try to look as pathetic as possible. Yes, this is really working for me. It's awful. Completely repugnant. Your general squalor should function as a simple manipulation tactic, no matter which direction I decide to spin it. The praise makes it hard to keep frowning, but you do your best to keep it up. You even hunch over a bit and shamble a few meager steps toward him. Great. Yes. That's enough. No need to come any closer. Okay then, we'll skip the hygiene and get straight to the best part. Bureaucracy. Stay right there and don't get any of your crusty alien orifices near my decor. I'll go print out our contract and we can move on. You pretend you're a statue while he types things, then prints the types things, and then staples the printed things. His ferret Lucis stares at you with beady interest. You stare back, completely motionless. You wonder how often Gorgor has friends over. He brings the packet over to you and hands you a pen. Read this, or don't. Sign it either way. It's a standard legislative agreement, tweaked a bit to accommodate your particular situation. You know what? I'm going to make this a little more realistic. I'm not going to read that. And I sign it. That sure was a lot of stuff that you just got told real fast. You were trying to listen, really, but he winked at you early on in his monologue, and it was really distracting because you couldn't stop thinking about how you could incorporate a wink into a secret handshake, maybe. Anyway, regular legal jargon, yeah, just like all the times you click to say you read the terms and conditions on any old harmless social media app. That stuff never ends up being relevant. You show off your exquisitely polished John Hancock as many times as it takes. Excellent, excellent. Everything's in order, then. Are you ready to head out? Oh, like now? Now? You're not ready. Do you look roughed up enough? Will your bones need to go through any more ordeals? What's a subjugulator? Does Tagora... No sweep like the one you're fucking in, as they say. Pardon the language, it's an idiom. It means it's time to fucking go. Let's watch the fucking language. You follow him out about as apprehensively as you followed him in. As you retrace the path you took not too long ago, it occurs to you to wonder where this glorious feat of justice is going to take place, and, like, if anyone is going to subpoena the asshole that hit you. Is that even a thing here? You skip up to match Tagora's pace and ask. There is no real need for you to worry about that. It's for me to deal with. I saw the perpetrator, of course. It seems prudent to pin the crime on them when the time comes. I will have more than enough credible evidence to condemn them. Their blood casts should be sufficient, but if it seems worth it to call in their dented scuttlebuggy, I can certainly do it as well. Of course, that's not the only way we can spin this. It may not be necessary to involve them at all. Don't bother worrying about that either. You definitely still worry about that, but you nod and keep walking like you're not bothered. You want to match his level of easy confidence. It's almost comforting to be around it, now that you've spent some time with him. It's simple. You're still basking in the ease of being told what to do when the whole vibe flips over on its ass so fast, you feel it like ice down your back. You look at Tagora first. He stopped walking, and his posture somehow gets straighter. Even his cute little ponytail thing looks more alert. He's staring at the approach of another troll, a blue guy. You know that means high blood, but not much else about what that entails, aside from what you're picking up from the full hair-on-end cat reaction from old Gorgor next to you. Pleasant evening, sir. His voice somehow gets sweeter and more professional at the same time. You recognize what he's feeling because you felt it in yourself. The whole time you've been on this godforsaken planet. A deep, all-consuming thirst for approval. He's gunning hard for business boy friendship. The high blood, however, is not. At first you think he might be chill because his smile gets huge, and hell if you don't love getting smiled upon. You start to introduce yourself until Tagora shoots you a be cool look. It's then that you learn that this guy's smile is not the nice kind. What's this, he asks. Gorgor picked up a little friend? It's not. We have a working relationship. You try not to let his dismissal of your friendship sting. You're not there yet. It's okay. You want to be helpful, so you put on your best injured face and start hobbling in a circle, twisting your neck at the most grotesque angle you can manage without actually hurting yourself. I laughed earlier because I want to say that the blue blood is Gallic, because there's a lot of fan art of these two being weird, creepy lawyer nerds. You groan pitifully about all your bones. Oh right, your booming drone pursuing business. This client you have here looks extra shitty. Good luck getting anything good for whatever this mutant is that you scraped up from the Crystal Gate. Great. I can't talk today. I'm kind of stuffy. I'm sorry. If you take a moment to consider the potential. The blue guy rolls his eyes and keeps walking, elbowing his way between the two of you on his way past like you're nothing. Tagora freezes. His eyes stay fixed ahead of him, where the blue guy was just standing. It's like he hasn't processed the movement yet. Even though he got knocked back a few steps in his wake, he starts shaking. Yikes! That was, tense. You want to say something reassuring to Tagora, but he has kind of ascended to another plane of existence. Maybe a nice reassuring pat on the shoulder will help diffuse the mood? You put a ginger hand to the mere vicinity of his body, and he whirls his to face you, your eyes narrowed and breathing heavy. You snatch your hand back fast. Mistake! Do you have any idea how rare that networking opportunity was? Do you realize what you... No, of course you don't. You don't know anything. You're just a weird little hornless thing who doesn't even know how to cross the fucking street. He starts laughing all high-pitched and weird. Up until now, he seems so slick, so unflappable, that Gorgor is hard to reconcile with the one pacing back and forth. Hollering and grabbing at his face, he's pretty goddamn flapped. Oh boy, you really screwed up, huh? Maybe your busted neck routine was not convincing enough, or too convincing? Either way, you figure... Sorry about the time again. Either way, you figure now might be the time to bow out before the scene really blows up. You tell him so. Your neck is fine. Look, you had bang a bit to prove it. No, no. A deal is a deal. A deal is a deal is a deal. He breathes in slowly through his nose. All right, Gorgor, remember your mantra. He closes his eyes. After an awkward minute of watching him whisper something unintelligible to himself, he opens them and immediately starts up that bonkers pace again, so you skedaddle to catch up. He keeps talking, though by now he's just talking to himself, with you as an eavesdropping barnacle with really slow legs. Little manic giggles bubble out in between his sentences. We're headed toward justice, all right. Keep walking. We're seeing this through. I've got a bottom line to uphold. Okay, not bad. Maybe things are still cool between you. Maybe this lawyer-client relationship still has a chance to blossom into something more. You venture a friendly type topic and ask him about his mantra. He stops walking and looks at you like you shat on as loose as his grave. You don't just ask someone what their mantra is. Maybe not so cool. He shivers, spooked, and turns his stanky stare from you to the path you're on. After a moment, he smooths back all the hairs he shook out of place during his freak-out, pivots, and turns down a side street. Anyways, as I was about to say, there are many ways to fulfill the terms of our contract. I was hoping this would lead to a more stimulating evening. I was prepared to get into it with you. For you. But it has become clear that this partnership is no longer worth the work. Especially now that I will have to consider the significant career setback I just experienced at your feckless hand. So instead of wasting any more time or yours, let's take a shortcut to the same end result, sparing us both the agony of enduring a long court battle in the proximity of one another. Here's your verdict. You're guilty. Guilty? Wait! Wasn't it supposed to be the other guys on trial? You look around, panic rising in your chest. Oh, don't tell me. You don't know how the legal system works either. Unsurprising and uninteresting. Oh, this is bad. You'd been so caught up in watching him talk that you didn't notice him guiding you straight to the shittier part of the town. You know, the part that's all half demolished hives and creepy noises and drones flying around. Drones like the one that turns to notice you, and when Tagora whistles, snaps his fingers and points right at your head. Hey, big guy. Over here. One extremely malformed and unviable troll. Just the way you like it. Maybe you shouldn't feel surprised at this betrayal, maybe. But you do. For a second, anyway. Then you focus on yelling and scanning for possible debris to hide under. Tagora starts backing away as the drone gets closer. There's a sewer the next street over. You probably won't make it. But if you do, check your pocket. Oh no! I'm dying! Damn. Well, I mean, I can't pay him if I'm... Oh, yeah. If I make it out alive, then I still have to pay him. Oh, motherfucker's not getting my money. Oh, shit. I think I accidentally chose... I love you, ladies, but I'm not here for you today. Alright, go back to the main menu. Sorry, not close menu. Back to main menu. Yes. Alright, I'm gonna scroll down. And we're gonna try to get the good end. Blah, 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 friendship. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Tell about the infinite heaps of money I have. Okay, take a goddamn Ooh, didn't like that you did that. Alright. See, I don't have the patience to, like, edit this stuff out. So, y'all are gonna get a good few minutes of me just skipping through stuff. Skippy, 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 skippy. Skip, 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 skip. Keep at it. I'm gonna stop you now. Okay, take a goddamn bath. You are more than a little concerned about the trap part of the instructions you just received, but hey, at least a trap you know about is better than one you don't. And with everything else you can see so freaky pristine, he has to be hiding some evil somewhere. You wonder if it's a dungeon. A dungeon could be cool. The ferret bounds off its pedestal and jerks its head for you to follow it. You do, because it seems like a regular thing to do, and Tagora is busy on his computer. It leads you to a bathroom, which is just as fancy and clean as everything else you've seen. The Lucis chitters at you for a second, squirms its big, noodly body around, and leaves, shutting the door behind it. You wait a second till it's probably gone before you test the handle. It's unlocked. You wonder what the point, or, motive might be for leading you to this room until you turn and see yourself in the mirror. That is some haggard-looking stuff right there, so fair. You're flying by the seat of your pants, but you guess maybe you're supposed to take a bath. If not, and he gets pissed and unleashes the ferret on you, at least you'll meet your maker nice and clean. You have expect some indiscernible goo or blood or something to come out of the faucet in the weird lumpy tub, but thankfully it's just water. Once you're in, you take a look at the truly inordinate amount of bath products you have at your fingertips. There are 3 shelves of little bottles and soaps and unidentifiable lathersome accessories by the tub alone. There's even more by the mirror. The labels are all gibberish, of course, but you sniff a few until you find something flowery and go to town. I really like this little sparkly rainbow one by the mirror. You take more time than you should in there, but you haven't experienced a moment of luxurious solitude in a bit. Full-time friendship searching can be difficult work. It's good to recharge. Once you're freshly scrubbed and dried, you slather yourself head to toe with some lotion you find in an iridescent vial. I really cannot speak today. I apologize. And that's the iridescent vial I was talking about. It's lotion. You hope he won't mind you using it. He wants you to be presentable, and this stuff is sparkly. You're starting to feel rejuvenated as hell, ready to knock this friendship stuff right out of the park. You leave your dirty, torn-up old clothes on the floor, wrap yourself in one of the many satin bathrobes folded in on a shelf, and head back out to find Tagora. He's standing in his foyer, waiting with the contract he typed up for you. When he sees you, his eyebrow ticks up. I see you went with the Rainbow Drinker Serum, full-body application. Bold choice. I mean, it's an incredibly rare and expensive product, and I do expect to be remunerated. I won't lie. It works. Oof! Very expensive. Yeah, sure, that stuff. You don't want to let on that you don't know what it is, since he seems impressed. Instead, you give his ego a little stroke, and tell him you hadn't seen such a sumptuous array or self-care accoutrements in so long that you couldn't help yourself. Damn you, Homestuck, and using such big words. Not everyone takes skincare as seriously as they should. I assumed you were taking forever in there because you'd gotten lost or didn't know how to use the ablution trap. I hadn't considered the possibility that you were just doing your regimen. Noted. You hold your arms out to admire the well-hydrated sheen you have going on. This time, you're not really even bullshitting. It does look pretty good. Tagora seems like he's struggling. He keeps opening his mouth to say something, then changing his mind. He's clutching the documents in his hand like a flotation device. He looks down at them, then back at you. I typically only use that particular product to highlight my cheek blades, but there's no real reason you shouldn't apply it more liberally, especially if cost isn't an issue. It's a little drastic for my personal style, but there is a certain unorthodox glamour to it. The next bit looks like it hurts him a bit to get out. Would you like to step outside to see the full effect? You bet your ass you would. You're curious about what he means by effect, and it seems like more fun than signing stuff. He places the documents down on his desk like they're made of glass, not paper. He looks up at his Lucis, who just sort of tilts its head to the side. You look away and give them privacy to do whatever eyeball communication is going on. After a bit, Tagora clears his throat and heads towards the door. You don't comment on the bluish flush in his cheeks, For all the shift in his demeanor, he still seems he might kick you out on your ass if you try to get too feelingsy with him. You start to glow as soon as you step back out into his dark front yard. Not in a light bulb kind of way, but a subtle, ethereal luminance. What is this stuff? Now that is a look. I mean, there's still the unfortunate issue of your hornlessness and overall aberrance, and the fact that you're still wearing my ablution robe. But it's cutting edge, I'll give you that. You almost look like a real one. You don't know what that means, but you won't. But you want to roll around eternally in the praise part. You ask if the look will help your case. Oh right, your case, of course. He bites his lip and looks back through the window at the papers sitting on the desk where he left them. You hope that he still wants to represent you, or at least that he'd want to hang out even if he wasn't going to. You don't get a chance to prod, though, because right then someone rounds the corner on the sidewalk in front of his hive. Tagora's face immediately shudders into its usual simpering mask. There's an edge of panic around his eye, though. Huh. Wow, Gorjek, what have we here? It's a blue-themed troll, which, if you remember right, means he's a fancier guy than Tagora. He's grinning like a troll Christmas came early. You can feel Tagora vibrating out of his skin next to you. Who even is this guy? When he gets close enough to get a good look at you, he jumps and screeches, "What the bulge-boiling fuck?" Tagora is frozen, the corner of his mouth pulled back to show his teeth. The new guy is ignoring him in favor of noticing that you're dressed in Tagora's monogrammed leisure wear, if his look of fascinated horror is anything to go by. You don't really know what makes you do it. You should wait for Tagora to get himself together and do the talking, but you're riding the high of almost seeming like he was enjoying your company. Plus, nothing boosts confidence like looking like a beautiful, spooky angel. So you toss your head, put on your best fancy guy voice, and say, "What, never seen a real one before?" You're placing all your chips on this guy, knowing something you don't. But when his eyes get huge and he starts stumbling over himself to back away down the sidewalk, you know it's paid off. Tagora blinks and jumps right in, picking up directly where you left off. Surely someone as well-informed as yourself knows a rainbow drinker when he sees one. The blue guy doesn't respond with anything more coherent than a string of yelps as he hightails it back the way he came. When he's gone, you turn to Tagora and ask him super casually what a rainbow drinker is. He stares at you in stunned silence. Are you telling me you didn't know? You nod. And that you ran with it anyway, exploiting the fear you picked up on to turn the tide of a delicate encounter to your favor? You shrug. You guess so. You tell Tagora you hope his friend wasn't too freaked out. Friend? No, I hate that guy. There are simply times when being liked by your betters is helpful. Though technically fearing me is just as good. Better, maybe. So, you know. Thank you. Tagora's laugh is soft. It's not a sound you expected to hear. He's happy because of something you did. You can't help it. You start laughing too. That was a bit of a rush, wasn't it? It was almost fun. I certainly didn't see it coming, anyway. I underestimated you. He gives you an appraising look, then takes a deep breath. You're so nervous all of a sudden. You feel unbalanced on the precipice of what he might be about to say. From one prevaricator to another, I will let you in on something. I haven't actually encountered an alien before. Oh, sweet relief. You tell him his act was airtight. And as long as everyone's doing the truth thing, you admit you lied a bit too. You aren't actually rich. Yes, that's clear now. You have the invaluable ability to fake it, though. That's potentially much better. Why don't we put your case on hold for the time being? You wouldn't have enjoyed the outcome of our legal system anyway. We can find an alternate means of you working off your debt. I think we may make a better team than I previously anticipated. With our wits combined, we can tackle bigger and better things than traffic injuries. He flexes his hand at his side, then in one swift and decisive movement, he extends it out to you. On his face is something close to an honest-to-God real-ass smile. I've never actually formed a legitimate partnership of any sort before, but I believe this is how it's done. What do you say? The glow in your heart shines brighter than any expensive and still kind of mysterious lotion. You take his hand in your firm, no-nonsense grasp of pure, inexorable joy and shake it. I think that's friendship. It might just be business. Anyway, my throat hurts. But I got another episode to record, so it's plain boy time.